Hello, you wonderful people. So for today's video, I'm going to talk about the trailer that just came out for season 2 of You. If you haven't seen it already, I'll put a link to it in the description down below. But it's really interesting the way the trailer is kind of cut and everything, because I never saw the original You's trailer, so maybe it kind of fits more tone-wise of, like, you know, the season 1 trailer. But like, if you took certain context, like obviously going into this you had the context of the show, but if you took that, if you didn't have that context and you just looked at the first half of that trailer, you just think like, oh, this is like some like romantic drama of like someone being like, oh, trying to get a new start and wanting to find love and everything. So it's almost romantic. Obviously you look deep enough, you can obviously see elements of like, oh yeah, there's some of that, you know, Joe doing his thing, you know, things, aspects to it. So it's like, it takes a little bit out of it. But like, if you didn't have the context of the show, you'd almost think that was almost like romantic. And then the second half is like, and this is the You that you basically came to see. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Obviously what they're setting up for this trailer, obviously the whole thing is, that was kind of like the whole point, that like obviously Joe's moved away after the whole Beck situation, so now trying to have a fresh start and everything, and then obviously finds new love, that being a girl named Love. I'm sure that's going to be played up a lot more, because it's like, oh, love, and you know, I'm here to find love, and I found love, and it was almost kind of like it was meant to be, especially after everything that went down with Beck. But I'm curious to see like the way they've set it up, because I was curious, because like at the beginning I was like, oh, we don't see anything about the whole Candace thing, especially the way season 1 did it off. I'm like, you would think that'd be more of a forefront thing, but I guess it's like the moment Candace popped up, Joe just bounced left. Maybe that's the reason why he left everything behind, because he didn't want to take the chance she might throw. I mean, I'm sure he wanted a clean start anyway, but I think maybe we'll kind of get some context of that in the first half of the season, of understanding like why he ended up getting away from Candace. I mean, even that in itself is still, because obviously Beck thought she knew that side of the story, thought like she knew how everything went down, but obviously she didn't. So we're going to probably find out like what really went down between Joe and Candace. And what I think is interesting is like, obviously what the trailer sets up saying meet your match, that is almost like this almost stalker off that we're going to have this season, because it seems like Candace is getting close to Love's brother. Now I don't know whether it's like, oh, I'm getting close to your brother so that I can get close to Love, so I can like expose you, but it almost seems like this game a little bit of like cat and mouse, because like rather than just straight up telling Love, I think it's a thing of she's going to try it. Like, I don't know whether she's doing this because obviously she's obsessed with Joe and it's like, I want you all to myself, I don't want anyone else to have you, or is it a context because she's trying to make it seem like, oh, he's dangerous and all that, but it's like, I don't know whether she's trying to go about it her own way to be like, oh, I'm trying to protect you. It's like, oh, you did it again, didn't you? First it was me, then it was Beck, and now this. So I'm curious, is it coming from a good place of like, oh, she's trying to protect people from Joe, or does she kind of, or is that kind of the excuse and she just wants Joe to herself? I'm interested to see the kind of context, like I said, this whole like I said, almost cat and mouse like game that they have, and obviously just the little bits we get from the trailer, you can tell like obviously things are going to escalate, because Joe, obviously we've seen how he handled the whole Beck situation, so obviously we're going to have a repeat of that. What I'm also curious about, because we see at one point like there's a cage and there's a body in there, and part of me wonders, is that supposed to be like the aftermath of the Beck situation? Because obviously like last time we saw, like, you know, Beck was trying to escape and obviously Joe grabbed her. Obviously we found, you know, the context of how everything else played out, but I'm wondering, is that supposed to be like him dreaming and seeing what he did to Beck? So is he going to be haunted by Beck this season, is what I'm kind of wondering about. So that could be something interesting if they kind of add that angle to it too, because it's like, because once again, like, no one's ever the villain of their story. Everyone thinks that they're hero of their own story. So in his mind, it's like, oh, I'm not a stalker, I'm a good guy, you know? So for him, it's like, whatever lanes I have to go, I'm doing to protect Love. And he might look at Candace as like, oh, she's, you know, a bad guy trying to interrupt, you know, this true love that me and Love have, you know? So I'm curious in the long run to kind of see where all that ends up taking. It also seems like he's also trying to make more of an attempt to have more of a friend circle and stuff like that. I think it's kind of interesting, because he didn't really have any friends at all. So I think maybe he's learning from his situation with Beck of like, I got to create some, you know, circle of friends that kind of make myself seem a little bit normal. So it's that complicated thing of, it seems like Joe is self-aware, but only self-aware to a certain extent. Or I don't know, or maybe those friends, you know, because I did watch the trailer once, so I probably would have missed it, but maybe those friends are people that are close to Love. Maybe that's how he actually met Love in the first place, was trying to make a group circle. Or maybe he's trying to, you know, watch people like, oh, this is how people kind of interact. Obviously, like, oh, this is how normal people kind of interact. Once again, like, it seems like he's not self-aware to know that he's not like other people, but at other points it seems like he is. I don't know. I'm interested to kind of dive into that too, because like I said, he didn't really have any friends. He had the dude he worked at the bookstore with. That was about it. But other than that, he didn't really have much of a social circle. So I'm wondering, is that something he's going to remedy this season, and is that something that's even going to really work out, or is the whole circle kind of like, well, because he never jammed 100% with Beck's circle to a certain extent. He kind of did, but I'm wondering, is he going to, you know, approach this situation a little differently? Because obviously Beck's friends were going to be probably way different than Love's friends, so we'll ultimately have to wait and see. Obviously, these are just some of my thoughts. In the comments down below, I'd love to get to know your thoughts about the trailer. What are some things you expect to see from season 2? What are some things you want to see? Let me know. Really, that's all I want to talk about today. Next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and good